beginning. Could you go back again on what you were saying?
I said, from my interpretation, maybe I'm wrong, I'm human, is that Yahweh still made a man pay the father for taking a virgin, because even if the father didn't approve, so to deter a man from fornicating, because fornication would be very expensive. He would have to pay regardless, whether the father approved or not. And you go around sleeping with women, if you knew you had to pay 50 shekels of silver, and either way, that would be a very expensive thing to be doing, because that seemed like back then 50 shekels of silver seemed like that'd be a very expensive, would be very hard to come by back then, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it. That might be a deterrent, telling a man don't. You know what I'm saying? That would be the penalty of sleeping with a virgin. Is you got to pay 50 shekels of silver. Either way, either you're gonna be married to her. If you don't, you're still gonna pay.
Brother, do you know what they call theory?
Do I know what, sir?
Do you know what they call theory? A theory. And when they say that something is a theory, yeah.
Yes, sir. I do understand.
What is a theory?
A theory is like something that they believe happens, but they pretty much don't. It doesn't always have to happen that way. Maybe it's just like a theory. Like I work in electrical. They have electrical theory. It says normally electricity does this thing, so it would normally do this thing. But it doesn't always happen. I guess like the Big Bang theory, they believe the Earth was created by explosion, but they don't have no proof. Like it's pretty much not proof.
Do you understand that you're making a theory about biblical marriage right now?
Yes, I guess I am, y'all.
Why are you making a theory about biblical marriage? You're looking at scriptures. You just read Exodus right now, chapter 22, verse 16. It tells you what it tells you. Why are you making a theory about the word of Yah?
I'm just going by what it said, because it said.
No. You are not going by what it says. You're literally telling me that it could be. You read what it said. You started out your statement by making a statement. You wanted to ask a question, but you ended up making a statement. You said that if the father did not approve of a man marrying his daughter, that's not. If the father has to approve it, from what you understand, that according to what you understand, that the father has to approve it before it can be marriage. And then I asked you, where does he say that the father has to approve it? You quoted Exodus chapter 22, verse 16, and then you read the first part that said that the father can say no. And then I told you to read the second part where it says that even if the father says no, he is still required to pay the bride price. You read that, and I asked you, do you know what a bride price is? You told me that you're not really sure. And we went through it, and then now you understand what a bride price is. And then you go on to continue to tell me that maybe it could be that the Most High told the man, even if the father says no, it could be that the Most High told the man to pay the bride price just to be like a deterrent. So that when they remember that they have to pay 50 shekels of silver, they will not go and have sex with a virgin. Are you kidding me? You're making a theory. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. So why even put that in there about if a father approval? If you don't need the father's approval, why even put it there? I'm kind of confused. Why even put it there?
That question should be for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother, before I continue with this question, please try to refrain from theorizing the Bible, theorizing the word of Yah. It's dangerous. It is dangerous. You see people do please, brother, I don't know, but if you want to be serious with this, your salvation, don't theorize the word of Yah. Let me make it clear. Don't just say, well, I think, I don't know, but I think that this is what Yah may be thinking. Maybe he wants us to do this. It's not there in the Bible, but you're saying that it could be the reason. This is the reason why you see people that will tell you, you see women, you see these wicked women that will tell you that, well, it could be. That the reason why he told women not to wear men's clothes was because back then women was wearing. They keep making a theory. Well, it could be because there were women who were speaking loud in the church or something. That's the reason why they said that women shouldn't speak. These are all theory. Do you understand what we're doing? We're literally following the example of the heathen. The idea of making a theory of things, this is what the Europeans love to do. This is how you got your Big Bang theory. Well, 10 billion years ago, the world, there was a planet that came, and then another planet came, and they collided, and then that was the Big Bang theory. Well, 20 billion years ago, there was a species, the fish crawled out of the ocean, and then the fish turned into a chimp, into a monkey. Then the monkey turned into a chimp, and then the chimp turned into a human being. But it's a theory. Is there any proof? No. Who created the ocean? Where the fish came from? It could be. This is what the Europeans do. And this is for everybody. Everybody, my brothers and my sisters. Please, I beg you, stay away from making theories. Brother Francis, could you please mute your mic? So stay away from making theories. It is dangerous. That thing will take you down. Before you know it, you will stop keeping the law. You will start practicing all these things because you're thinking, well, because when you come across a law, you will think to yourself, maybe it wasn't really so. Well, when you come across a law like fringes, you will say, well, maybe because people was not whatever, that's why Yah told them to wear fringes. Maybe it was for that time. Oh my goodness, I would not want to be around you. Like I would it's dangerous to start doing this theoretical thing. It's like a theory, like all of it, because trust me, it does hold on. Theories does catch on because people love it. People love to make a theory, especially when it comes to the word of Yah, because with theory you can come up with anything. I can tell you right now that I can now do whatever. I can claim I can do anything. Well, if you show me a law, the homosexuals, they are doing the same thing. The gay people, they are doing the same thing. They will tell you that it was because of back then. That the reason why God was actually against homosexuals was because they were violent back then. So you should accept them now because they are not violent. Look at what they did in Sodom and Gomorrah. It was because of that wicked act. It wasn't because of their behavior, their lifestyle. It was because they were wicked back then. These are all theories. And once you start making theory, you will automatically put aside the word of Yah. You see, you can always change the word of Yah. You can always twist it. You can always change it. You can always change it however you want. Once you start making theories, you can always change it. This is the reason why people will tell you that the apostles were gay. How come there was not like women around? There was always Christ and the apostles. You see, anybody can twist, anybody can change, anybody can come up with whatever they want to come up with once you start making theories. It's dangerous. It's completely dangerous. It's bad. It's bad. I'm not mad at you, my brother. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I really would like to encourage you because I know that you don't know. I know that you don't know. Please, brother, don't do it when it comes to the word of Yah. It's dangerous. That thing will lead you down the path. With theories, we will not keep the law. Because every single law, we will always come up with a reason. Well, maybe back then they were doing this. That's why the Messiah told them not to do it. Well, we can get a tattoo because back then they were getting it for the dead. So as long as you don't get it for the dead, you can get it. Well, we can shave our beard because back then they were shaving it for the dead. As long Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who? Do you understand where this thing can lead you? If you start making theories, we don't theorize. I would love to have... So please, no. We don't theorize the word of Yah. And when you read it, take it for what it is. Your question about biblical marriage is very clear. The answer is very clear, I should say. Your question wasn't that direct, but the answer is very clear. If you look at Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29, it was clear, very clear. You lay down with a virgin, you get on top of her, and you take her virginity, she is your wife. Period. End of story. It doesn't matter if she's a mad woman. It doesn't matter if she's mentally ill. It doesn't matter if she's wicked. It doesn't matter. She is your wife. That's it. That's Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29. And as long as you are alive, you cannot put her away. Now, that's why Paul told you what Paul told you in Romans chapter 7, verse 1 to 3. Paul, the apostle, was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 22. When Paul wrote Romans chapter 7, verse 1 to 3, he was referring to Deuteronomy chapter 22. That's why he says that a woman is bound to her husband as long as he is alive. That's it. Now, if we go back, and I have to also quote Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, because he told you that whoever takes a woman who is put away is committing adultery. Whoever takes a woman who is put away is committing adultery. So if we go back to your original point about fathers approving or not approving, it's clear. It's very clear that, very clear that when it comes to the issue of the father approving and the father not approving, well, I can't say it any better than what you see in Deuteronomy chapter, Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. Our Heavenly Father said that even if the father says no, so let's say you take my daughter's virginity, for example. Let's say you take my daughter's virginity. Oh my goodness, and I'm not happy. I hate you. I don't like you. I don't want you to be my in-law. And I refuse. I'm angry at my daughter. I'm angry. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to cross my house. I can have all that feeling, all I want. It still doesn't change the fact that you are my daughter's husband. Still doesn't change that. You see, because I, a human being, cannot approve Yah's law. You see, because let's start from the beginning. The Most High gave us a law in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29. He gave us a law. Our Heavenly Father gave us a law that says that if a man takes a girl's virginity, she is his wife. That's the law. If I have to say that, okay, I like you, go ahead and marry my daughter because you took her virginity, then that means I, a human being, is approving Yah's law. If I have to say, I don't like you, how dare you take my daughter's virginity? I don't like you. Get away from here. I don't like you. And that means that she can be your wife. That means that I am approving Yah's law. That means that the Most High created us, gave us a law, and then now put us in charge to approve and disapprove his law. No. So what happens if you take my daughter's virginity and I hate you? I don't like you. What happens? See, this is where you have to understand the Hebrew culture in order to understand the scriptures. Most people don't understand the scriptures today because they don't understand the Hebrew culture. So what happens in that case if the father says no? If the father says no, then I will go to the elders. Okay, let me continue with the example. If you take my daughter's virginity and I despise you, I hate you, I don't like you, and I don't want to have anything to do with you, and you took my daughter's virginity, in that case, if you that took my daughter's virginity, if you really want to obey the law, you know that this girl is your wife. Whether I, the father, approve it or not, it doesn't matter. You see, you still have that law that you have to fulfill. Because the law in the Exodus chapter 22 says that even if I say no, the law still requires you to pay the bride price. And if you want to keep the law, what would you do in that case? You go to my elders. You go to my people. Okay? Usually in our culture, we have elder meetings that happens like once every month or once every 2 weeks or something, depending on where you are. You go to the book of Susanna in the Apocrypha. The book of Susanna in the Apocrypha. You see that the elders of Israel was meeting. They meet like regularly. Even when they were in captivity, they were meeting. They meet together as the elders of Israel. They have meetings discussing our issue. You can see that in the book of Susanna, and we still do it till this day. I used to attend a lot. I've even hosted that meeting for my people. So the Hebrew Israelite today, those who are known, I'm talking about those, the Igbo people are not the only Hebrew Israelite. Okay? Igbo people, I'm talking about those that I know. The Hebrew Israelites are scattered in the four corners of the earth. They are everywhere. Okay, so when I want to clarify something. Igbo people are not the only Hebrew Israelite. The slaves was taken from the Igbos. The slaves in America was taken from the Igbos. But that doesn't mean that only the Igbos are Hebrew Israelites. That doesn't mean that they are the only Hebrew Israelites. There are Hebrew Israelites in Ghana. There are Hebrew Israelites in Cameroon. They are everywhere. And they have different cultures now, different traditions now, depending on where they are. They adopt those systems. So I have to clarify that. But if you take my daughter's virginity and I hate you, I don't like you, I don't want you to marry my daughter, the law still requires you to pay the bride price. So what you do is that you find out when my people do have their weekly meetings or their monthly meetings. You come there, you explain to them what happened. Just like you see in Deuteronomy chapter 22 from verse 13 to 21. Deuteronomy 22 verse 13 to 21. The man and the father's girl, they go to the elders. So that's what you do. You go to the elders. So if I refuse that I can't give you my daughter, you will go to the elders of Israel and explain to them, I took this man's daughter's virginity and he is refusing to give her to me. I just want to pay the bride price. He's refusing to take the bride price. Then the elders of Israel will take that money from you. Because the elders of Israel understand the law. They understand that the law is our tradition. We have to observe it. They will take that money from you. They understand that this man is angry. They understand that this man is not happy with you. But as long as you are the one that took his daughter's virginity, the elders of Israel will take that money from you. Now you have fulfilled the law. But why would you pay that bride price in the first place? If it's punishment money, the Most High will give you a fine. It's not punishment money. This is not for those of you that has been here for a long time. You remember that brother that used to be here? He made the same argument. He wasn't really part of us. He just joined us for sometimes. That guy wasn't part of us. But if you remember when we went through this biblical marriage, that was his argument. He said that maybe that the Most High was asking these men to pay this money as a punishment. No, go to chapter 22. Deuteronomy 22. Deuteronomy 22. Verse 13 to 21. If a man accuses a daughter of Israel for not that she was not a virgin when he married her, according to the Most High, in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13 to 21, if a man marries a daughter of Israel and then lays with her and then hates her and turn around and make accusation that when I married this girl, she was not a virgin, the elders and her father and the elders, they will investigate the situation. If it is not true, if she was a virgin when he married her, but now he, the husband, is lying, they are supposed to fine that man. They're supposed to give him a fine. Why? For lying. Why am I pointing this out? Because the Most High pointed it out that it's a fine. You fine him. You pay a fine when you do something wrong. So in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13 to 21, when a man does something wrong by accusing a daughter of Israel of not being a virgin, before you marry your wife, before you lay with your wife, she has to be either a virgin or a widow. If not, if you marry her, if you lay with her, you're committing adultery in the sight of the Most High. Even Christ told you this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 32, Matthew chapter 19, verse 8 and 9. In these two places, Christ tells you that if you take a woman who is put away, you're committing adultery. Put away by who? Put away by the man that took her virginity. So the Most High was very clear that if you marry a girl, if you take a woman and you lay with her and you take her virginity, and for whatever reason, you come up in the future, for whatever reason, and you say that, oh, she wasn't a virgin, I don't want to be with her anymore because she was not a virgin when I married her. If they investigate the situation and they found out that she was actually a virgin, because when you took her virginity, there was a white cloth that was given, and you touched the blood in the white cloth and you give the white cloth to her parents. After that investigation, if they found out that you were lying, you will be fined. And it was very clear that it's a fine. So when the Most High said that you should pay 50 shekels of silver when you take a girl's virginity, or like in the case of Exodus chapter 22 verse 16, Exodus 22:16, when it says that you are to pay her bride price, even if her father says no, when he says that, that's a bride price. That's not a fine. If it's a fine, the Most High will tell you, just like he told you when a man lies against a girl. So let us not speculate. Let us not theorize that something that the Most High calls bride price, 50 shekels of silver, bride price. Bride, the girl. Bride, price, the money paid to get her. When the Most High said that you are to pay that bride price, it means that you are to pay that bride price. Even if the father says no, you are still required to pay it. Because she is your wife. Whether her father approves it or not, doesn't matter. As long as you got on top of her and you take her virginity, she is your wife. And her father cannot cancel that or approve that. So the money you're told to pay is a bride price because she is your wife. It wasn't meant to punish you. It's not a fine, as you can see in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13 to 21. That was not The bride price is not a fine. Bride price is not a fine. You pay bride price because she's your wife, because you're buying her. I just said it. That's a bride price. So that's the difference between these two situations, okay? That's the difference. And I hope that this is clear, because the Most High is clear when it comes to these things. He was very clear. There's no theory. There's no speculation. It's very clear. If you have done something that requires a fine, it's a fine. This is a bride price, and no man can approve or disapprove this. It is what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I understand. Like I said, my apologies. Like I said, I'm new to this. You know what I'm saying? I've only been doing this for learning this last couple months. So my apologies. But what I'm saying is, so like when you said Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy 22 versus when he was speculating his wife about being a virgin. Obviously, in context, he has already paid the bride price already. Now, if he finds out that she was a virgin, he has to pay an extra 50 shekels, so that being double on top of the one he already paid. Is that right?
No.
Am I not thinking of right?
No. I will
So
advise you.
He paid.
I will advise you later on when we're done. Read that chapter carefully. Okay.
Okay.
From verse 13 all the way to the end, basically deals with mostly marriage, biblical marriage. Deuteronomy 22. From verse 13 deals with biblical marriage. Most of the verses deal with biblical marriage. So bride price is something you pay when you marry a woman or when you marry a virgin. That's what you do when you marry her. It's not paid before. It's not paid way after. No, before you even get on top of her, you've already paid the bride price. And her father will give her to you. And you take her home, and she now belongs to you, and she's now under your authority. According to the scriptures, she's no longer under her father's authority. According to the book of Numbers, she's no longer under her father's authority. She's now under your authority. You paid the bride price. She's now yours, like Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 8 and 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 8 and 9. A man was not made for the woman, but the woman was made for the man. That's why she's a virgin. And once you take her virginity, once you open that package, it belongs to you. Once you open that package, it belongs to you. No other person is allowed to touch it. And no righteous, sane, righteous man will even want to touch your package because it belongs to you. That is the reason why if another man touches her, she's defiled and you cannot touch her again. So, but unfortunately today people are taking people's leftover packages and stuff. So, there's the difference between bride price and a fine. The man that you read about in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13 to 21. Deuteronomy 22, verse 13 to 21. That man already paid the bride price on the wedding day. That's when you pay 50 shekels of silver. On the wedding day, you pay the bride price and you take her to be your wife. And you take her home and you take her virginity. And then she gets pregnant and she's there in the house working for you, taking care of you and taking care of your house. While you are out there working for Yah, taking care of the things of Yah. That's the way biblical marriage is supposed to be. We've abandoned that and we are now following the Europeans. Everything we do when it comes to marriage, everything we know about marriage, we do about marriage is according to the ways of the Europeans. And that's why we are so miserable. That's why we're failing and we're miserable. More than 50% of the marriage in America ends in divorce. Something is not right. So biblical marriage is different from what we're doing today. Most people today are not married. Most men and women who are living together today are not married in the sight of the Most High. And anybody who is wise should want to just stick to what the Most High said. Because this is exactly as it was in the time of Noah. Right now, everybody is doing whatever they want. And most people are ignoring the law of the Most High. But it will not be for long. It will not be for long. So there's a difference between bride price, which you pay when you get married. So if I want to marry your daughter, or if you want to marry my daughter, the day of the marriage, first of all, you have to come to me and tell me, I would like to marry your daughter. That's something we talk about before it even happens. That's when you will approve it or disapprove it. So you, the parent, if I come to you right now and I want to marry your daughter, I will tell you ahead of time. Like, we'll discuss it. And you look into me. If you approve that I will marry your daughter, this is before I even touch her. So she's still a virgin. I will come to you and let you know that I want to marry your daughter. If you say no, I cannot marry her. If you say yes, then I can go ahead and marry her. But if I go behind you without telling you, if I go behind you, and you can see all this in Deuteronomy chapter 22. This is all in Deuteronomy chapter 22. If I go behind you, behind your back, and I didn't tell you, I did not tell you, I simply just went behind you and I had sex with your daughter and take her virginity without telling you, then automatically she's my wife. Whether you approve it or not, it doesn't matter. She is my wife at that point. She is automatically my wife. Now, but that's not the end of the story. That is not the end of the story. Now, let's say you have a daughter right now, and she's a virgin. And I see her, and I didn't tell you. I did not tell you, the parent. And I managed to deceive her, or I approach her and I make my intention known. What I'm explaining right now is very important. What I'm explaining is very important, and this will help you to understand this a little bit further.
Yes, sir.
So, let's say there's this girl that belongs to you. She's your daughter. And I see her. I didn't tell you, the father, anything. And I just talk to her and I begin to maybe buy her things. I buy her stuff and I'm buying her things and giving her money. And then, which in that case, that is what the Bible calls enticing. Because now I'm enticing her with my money. Now I'm enticing her, I'm giving her gifts to be able to pave the way. So that when I will try to take her virginity, she will not be able to resist because I've been giving her stuff. So when I'm approaching her and talking to her and enticing her behind your back, which I'm not supposed to do according to the law or according to the scriptures. When I do that, when I entice her and I'm doing all this, however, whether I may be talking to her, I may be telling her that I love her, however I entice her, it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, she lays down, she spreads her leg, I take her virginity. The Bible calls it enticing. As soon as I take her virginity, in that case, she becomes my wife. Now, if she, your daughter, did not say anything after that encounter, now she's no longer a virgin. I've taken her virginity. But she didn't tell you. She did not tell her mother. She just kept quiet. According to the law, according to Deuteronomy chapter 22, she, your daughter and I are worthy of death. If she's betrothed to somebody, if she's been betrothed to a man while we did this, if she's betrothed to somebody, she and I we will die. Because she was betrothed to a man. She's been promised to a man that a man will marry her. And then she listens to me. I enticed her. She took my gift, or she listened to my sweet words and she laid it down and I took her virginity. She and I will die. Now, if she, your daughter, was not promised to any man, you did not promise her to any man, she's not betrothed to any man like Mary was betrothed to Joseph. If she was not betrothed to any man, she's just your daughter, she's just walking around doing her thing and, just being a girl, and she's not waiting for any man, and she's not betrothed to any man, if I entice her and took her virginity, then in this case, I am supposed to pay you 50 shekels of silver because she's already my wife as soon as I take her virginity. Whether you approve it or not, it doesn't matter. She's my wife at this point. And if you refuse to take that 50 shekels of silver, I am now supposed to go to your brothers who are the elders. I will go to them and explain to them what happened, and they will take that 50 shekels of silver from me. They will take it. Because whether you, the father, approves it or not, at this point, your daughter is my wife because I took her virginity. Now, if this is the third part, and you will see all this, what I'm explaining right now, you will see all this in Deuteronomy chapter 22. Now, if you have a daughter, I see her, and she's not betrothed to anybody. This is the reason why Christians or white people will tell you that the Bible promotes rape. The Bible does not promote rape. Okay, let me explain the part that they call rape. If you have a daughter and she's a virgin, and I see her in the field or in the back alley, or she was walking home at night and there was nobody around, and I take her by pointing a knife at her or pointing a gun at her, or I see her in a house somewhere and I rape her against her will, meaning that I force her, I took off her clothes by force, I got on top of her by force, I took her virginity by force, that is rape. In that case, I will die. I am the only one that will die. Because normally after the rape, she's going to be crying. She will come home and she will tell you that is rape. I, as a man of Israel, will be put to death. That's a rape. I raped her. The Most High does not condone rape. The Most High does not condone having sex with a woman by force against her will. That's rape. That's death sentence. So typically, of course, if I rape her, she's going to be crying. She's going to go home and she will tell you. And you will begin to make a big deal out of it. And the people of the village will hear it and they'll be angry. And they will look for me and they will put me to death. And if you want to see what I'm saying, go to the Middle East and rape a girl. Go to the Middle East and rape a girl and see what happens to you. Go to Pakistan, Afghanistan, and rape a Muslim girl and see what happens. See how you die. You will die one of the most horrible. You will die in one of the most horrible way anybody will die if you rape a Muslim girl. So the Most High also says that if a girl, if she listens to me, I'm telling her that she's beautiful, I love her, I'm thinking about her, blah, 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 blah. I'm lying, telling her all these lies. In that case, I am enticing her. If she listens to me, she's not betrothed to any man. She's not promised to any man. And I'm telling her all of these things behind your back instead of coming to you and paying her bride price and taking her to be my wife, and I'm telling her all this behind the scene. Basically, if I steal her virginity, that's stolen sex. If I steal her virginity, I am to be put to death. So if I see your daughter and I'm lying to her, telling her I love her, she's beautiful, all this nonsense that people are telling girls and girls will believe them. If I tell her all that and she listens to me and I'm buying her gifts and then I take her virginity, and then she keeps quiet and she never told you, the father. She never told her mother. So nobody knew that she lost her virginity. Then what happens is that if she does get married and her husband pays her bride price, takes her home, lays down with her and realizes that she's not a virgin, that girl is supposed to be put to death. So according to the law of the Most High in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13 to 21, Deuteronomy 22 verse 13 to 21, when a Hebrew girl loses her virginity while she's still in her father's house, while she's not married, she listens to some man, she begins to listen to a man lie to her, and she loses her virginity like that, that girl, the Most High describes her as a whore, as a prostitute, and according to the law, she is to be put to death. Now, this is what people call honor killing. The Arabs are still doing this in the Middle East. They do this. They kill that girl. So you will hear the filthy Gentiles. Sometimes you hear the filthy, disgusting Europeans that will condemn this. And maybe you condemn it too. Maybe you think honor killing is wrong. You know what I think? I think we should keep Yah's law. Because if we all keep Yah's law and you teach your daughter to keep her virginity and she doesn't become a whore, if your daughter does not think like a whore and she keep her leg closed, maybe she won't be killed. All those girls in the Middle East that get killed by their villagers because she lost her virginity before marriage, if they had kept their legs closed, if they didn't become like a whore, they wouldn't be killed. But nobody wants to talk about that. Rather, we demonize the Arabs. We demonize them. Oh, they're doing honor killing. They're killing their daughters because she had sex before marriage. Only a man or a woman that hates the law of the Most High will demonize people that carry out the law of the Most High. A genuine, honest person would rather say, I can imagine how painful it will be to kill that girl. But you know what? Why don't we encourage our girls to keep their virginity until their wedding night? It's like people being angry that a murderer was killed. Who is angry at that? You have a man who is running around killing people, and then he gets put to death, and some people are angry. Who is angry about that? Only an evil person will be angry at that. Only an evil person will be angry when an evil person is killed. Now, whoredom is evil in the sight of the Most High. It's an abomination for a girl to lose her virginity before her wedding night. So instead of condemning the law of the Most High, why don't we encourage these girls to keep their virginity until their wedding night? So in that way, they don't become a whore in the sight of the Most High. And in that way, they don't have to be killed. But you see these Gentile, the Europeans, criticizing and condemning the law of the Most High. I'm so glad that the Most High is dealing with them. I'm so glad that their time is up. I'm so glad that they're slowly going away. Because at the end of the day, the law of the Most High and those that uphold the law of the Most High will stand. That's what will stand at the end of the day. So that's biblical marriage for you. That's the way it works. We take a girl's virginity, she's your wife, period. You pay her bride price, and she becomes your wife. Now, if you rape her, which doesn't happen often, you rape her, that's a totally different story. So I hope that you understand this. I hope that this clarifies your question.
Yes, I understand, but like I said, it seems like obviously people who's taking these women's virginity, obviously they ain't paying the father's bride price. So, but it's still your wife. You just never paid your bride price. So I don't think anybody does that. They just have sex. So obviously, but still, that will be still your wife. You just have not fulfilled the law as far as paying the bride price. Correct?
Yeah, it gets complicated because what ends up happening.
Yes, sir.
What ends up happening like today is if you take a girl's virginity, okay, you take her virginity and you didn't pay the bride price, she's still your wife. Okay? And I've told you how you can pay it. If her father says no, you go to her father's brother and you pay it towards his elders. They will take it from you. And they will keep it until his anger is down. Then he will accept it because he knows that he's angry. He knows that, she's your wife. He's just angry. But anyways, Most people today are living with women that are not their wives and men that are not their husbands. Now, it does get complicated, and I'm not going to go too deep into that right now. I'm going to leave this question like this. Maybe we'll continue some other time. Now, if I take your daughter's virginity, she's my wife. Period. Now, if she remains like that, meaning that she never had sex with another man, I simply took her virginity, and that was it, and no other man has ever touched her, she will continue to be my wife. Now, if she goes on to have sex with other men, now she's defiled. And I say this because of Deuteronomy chapter 24. Deuteronomy 24 from verse 1 to 4. So, once she goes on to lay with other men, then I, the man that took her virginity, cannot go back and take her back because she's defiled. Because she's only allowed to be with one man. If that man dies, then another man can marry her and she can be with another man. If the first man dies. But while I'm still alive, the man that took her virginity, while I'm still alive, if another man lays with her, then in the sight of the Most High, she's defiled. And I, the man that took her virginity, cannot go back and have her. So, but if you look at the world today, you see that what's happening is that oftentimes these girls in their schools, and we can see what's going on today through social media. So, because they're taking pictures and videos in their schools. Majority of the girls lose their virginity in schools. Majority of the girls lose their virginity in schools. At the school bathroom, at the back of the school, and oftentimes in the classroom. You see them having sex in the classroom, recording it, and then it makes its way into the social media. So oftentimes before a girl will finish high school, she had sex with 3, 4, 5 boys. By the time she comes out of college, she will no longer be able to tell you how many times she had sex. That's the wicked world we live in today. That is the wicked world we live in today. And the Most High says in Deuteronomy, Leviticus chapter 19, do not cause your daughter to be a whore. Do not cause your daughter to be a whore. Don't cause her to be a whore. So while the whole world doesn't care about the law, while the whole world doesn't care about the law of the Most High, you should. Because in the time of Noah, the whole world did not care. Noah cared. So when they say that you are stupid, when they say that you are a fool, when they mock you, when they laugh at you, do not yield to their pressure. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on walking in the law. Keep on observing the law. Teach your children these things. Teach them about these things, your sons and your daughters. Let them understand these laws so they can keep themselves pure. And don't wait until they finish school. Don't wait until he finishes school. Don't wait until she finishes school. Get them betrothed. Find him a girl that will be betrothed to him. Find her a husband that will be betrothed to her. That's your job as a parent. That is your part of your responsibility as a parent, to betroth your children. Don't let them be whores and whoremongers. Don't let them be male prostitute and female prostitute. Don't let that happen. This is the reason why very few people will make it into the kingdom. So don't let anybody talk down on you, mock you, condemn you, judge you for doing these things. Don't allow it. Do what you need to do. Don't even argue with people about this. Don't argue with them. Don't debate with them. Just assume that they are blind. They can see. Let them continue being blind. Do what you need to do. Protect yourself and your family. Guard yourself and your family. Walk according to the law. So what's going on in the world today is a mess when it comes to biblical marriage. It's a mess. And this is part of the reason why most people will not make it into the kingdom. Because at the end of the day, the law of the Most High will stand. His law will stand. Our ignorant can never cancel his law. Our ignorant can never nullify his law. Yes, we got into this out of ignorance. But we also have ancestors in Ezra chapter 10 who went and married women. Married foreign women that they shouldn't have married. They did it out of ignorance. They were in captivity in Babylon when they did it. But when they found out what the law says, they separated themselves from those women. They got rid of those women and their children. Our ignorance can never cancel Yah's law. Those who are being honest and genuine and honest and straightforward will always try to amend, repent, and walk according to the law. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's painful. But we have to do what we have to do. Because only the remnant will make it. Only few will make it. So the solution to all of this is to keep the law. Teach your children ahead of time. Talk about sex. Sometimes sit them down. Sit him down. Let him tell you about biblical marriage. Discuss it with him. Tell him to read Deuteronomy 22 and let him explain it to you. Have this discussion. Sit her down. Let her explain it to you. Let her study it and explain it to you. They need to know these things. They need to understand what's going on. There will not be any excuse. This is part of your job as a parent. Again, very few people will make it into the kingdom. The Most High will not allow this whoredom, this prostitution into the kingdom. We have to keep ourselves pure and clean. So I thank our Heavenly Father for everything. I give you all the glory and all the honor. I know that this is not going to be the end of this. We've gone through this in the past, and we will continue to go through this. So this is I hope that this answers your question. I hope that this clarifies your question. And if you do have more questions about this, we'll continue it as time goes on. At other time we'll continue it. So I give you all the glory and all the honor. Brother, do you understand what I explained?
Yes, I'm understanding, sir.
Okay, so like as I said, if you do have more questions about this, if you come across any other thing, I personally encourage you to please bring it up. Bring it up. If you see something there that seems like it contradicts the video that I posted or anything that I say, please let me know. Please. And I encourage everybody. Okay, we have to continue on with this. We need to be talking about this. We need to be asking questions about this. We need to be doing this. Everything we just did now, we need to be doing. Because it helps to keep it in our mind. So thank you very much to the Most High. I thank our Heavenly Father for everything, for making you to ask this question. And I thank you for asking the question too. So all praises to our Heavenly Father. If you do have more questions about this, again, we'll continue it some other time, okay?
All right.
Yes.